Gentlemen, daddies, fellow dadbodders, non-dadbodders, welcome back to the Dadbod Dadpod. I am your host, Will Patterson. Today we're going to get into some honesty here. Talk about how I am an imperfect creature, and I think we all are. We're all imperfect creatures. But before we get into the meat of the episode, I do have a couple announcements. Number one, we are officially back on YouTube. Some of y'all may be watching this on the YouTube on the computer, and I appreciate you. I'm so happy that you found the podcast. Hopefully that you enjoy it. We do have a dedicated channel, so my loyal listeners, y'all remember we were kind of rocking with the Will and Jess channel. I created a totally dedicated channel to the Dadbod Dadpod. So if you want to, actually, I don't. If you don't want to, please do it for me. Go over to the YouTube, search the Dadbod Dadpod, and smash that subscribe button. It's another place that we can, kind of connect, post a little video over there. It's going to be way more than just the podcast. I mean, obviously that's going to be a weekly deal, but I do have some ideas to get some gear reviews and things like that for babies and parents both alike. I got a lot of lists of things that I want to talk about other than just a podcast episode. So head on over there, check it out, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss a video. And the other thing that I'm super excited about is a Facebook group is officially live. I'm not very good at Facebook. I don't use it quite often. I spend more time on Instagram and Snapchat, really, and Twitter. I spend a lot of time on Twitter. But I did want to get us a place where we could kind of connect and converse and things like that. And I thought I did a really good job probably about a month ago. And I was like, yeah, man, I spent a lot of time on it. The page was looking great. And then I was like, why can't anybody post on this? Well, I created like a business page like you would if you had a restaurant. And it didn't click for me. Like, why is it asking me for hours of operation? I don't have hours of operation. Um, so yeah, I messed that one up. That one's on me. I'll take full responsibility for it. So it's the idea that we had a couple like a month ago, and then turns out I'm an idiot and don't know how to work Facebook. But I corrected that mistake. I have officially created a group, so it's in a totally different spot. I thought it was a page. You can go in there and lock. It's not. It's not the case. So I've created a group. So if you go into your groups and search, you can search by name. You search Dadbod Dadpod, or if you would like to go directly to the page, it's www.facebook.com/groups/the Dadbod Dadpod. Again, it's a place where we can kind of connect, come together. It's an open forum. So if you've got something that you want to talk about, if you got an episode idea, something that you want to hear, it's a great place to go do it. And just you need help, you need advice from people in the dad bod community. It's a great place to go do it. Hopefully that thing goes to the moon, just like this podcast, and we kind of keep picking up traction. So I do want to thank y'all. We're getting close to 400 downloads on this podcast, and that may not seem like a lot to somebody out there, but for me, that's quite a bit. And y'all know I don't do it for the clout or the fame or the money that I'm not making. But to picture 400 people that, come to hear you speak in a podcast in a virtual world, that may not seem like a lot. Put 400 people in an auditorium and they're coming to listen to me, well, redneck from Texas. That's a lot, right? So I appreciate you. I appreciate your love and support and sharing the podcast and writing reviews and things like that. We're seeing a lot of growth, and it's exciting for Jess and I and people that have been with us from day one. So I appreciate you. Keep listening, keep sharing, and we're gonna go to the moon. So let's get into the meat of this episode. I have been thinking about this a lot, and it's something that I don't want to get in the trap of, well, we didn't see that one coming. I'm an imperfect creature. Right? I think we all are as fathers. I think we all are as humans. But I want to put that out in the air. I want to clear the air before it's too late. I'm not perfect, right? I get in front of this microphone and I talk about a lot of things about fatherhood. I give advice. We talk to experts, and I'm not always practicing what I preach. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got called out. I've been called out a couple times, whether that's by my wife or my friends that listen to the podcast or whatever. And they say, "Dude, that's you literally said the opposite," and it's true. I think we get into a rut sometimes, and we get into this place where, oh, okay, this is what I have to do rather than what I should be doing. And then prioritizing time and things like that. So I do like I make mistakes, um, and I'm grown enough and mature enough to own that and be like, yeah, y'all are right. Appreciate you calling me out. I you know I think it's great that I have a support system that will call me out and tell me when I'm doing wrong. And so, what I don't want it to be is a Dave and Rachel Hollis situation. And before I get into this, I'm not throwing any type of shade on them. I don't know the people. I just know kind of through my wife's eyes what it went through. If you have no idea who Dave and Rachel Hollis are, you haven't been married very long. Rachel Hollis was like this. I guess she's an influencer, and then her husband was Dave Hollis, and they basically painted this picture of like a perfect life. They had a podcast, they had everything, and then one day they just came on Instagram talking about, "Hey, we're getting divorced," and everybody was the whole community that they had built was shocked. And these people were hugely successful. I mean, live events that were selling out in 5 minutes. Like my wife, my sisters, everybody was trying to get tickets to these live events that they put on. They had good information. I'm not gonna lie, right? But they painted this picture of happiness and bliss, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, yeah, actually we don't do anything that we talk about. And I don't want to get into that situation where we're like, well, on the Dadbod Dadpod, this is what I heard, and then all of a sudden you see me out in public and I'm not doing what I'm telling you, right? I think we talk about best practices, and it may be the best practice for you to be present and tell work no, and do all of these things, but best practices aren't always met, right? Practice makes permanent, but if I haven't made it permanent yet, I'm still practicing. If that makes sense. So, like, yeah, I'm not perfect. I'm very much so um an imperfect creature, and I know that seems like, yeah, we all know that, right, dude? We've heard you speak. Okay, it's blatantly obvious that you're not perfect, and it may be for you, but I don't ever want to get into the situation where, hey, this guy's painting a perfect life situation, and it's not perfect, right? Because it's not. Like, I think the episode with Jess was great. I think we told the truth. We were super honest, and then we turned around and kind of got stuck back in that rut. Right? We were like, "Oh yeah, we need to take a date night," and then had the opportunity to take a date night and didn't take it. Right? There's always an excuse for why you didn't or what you didn't, and it was looking back on it, we should have done it. Right? So we're sitting over here telling y'all, "Hey, take a date night, do be with your partner and love each other and spend time together and whatnot," and then we turn around and we don't take advantage of the opportunity that we had. And to be honest with you, it's on both of us. So that's one of those examples of something like, yeah, we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, right, or what we're telling you to do. I mean, we said it in the podcast, right? We said, like, hey, don't be like us. You never want to be in a situation where you haven't taken a date night or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, like, we were imperfect creatures at that point. um and so I think we both regret not taking it up on the opportunity, but we've since sat down, talked about it, and we're going to remedy the situation, right? We've already planned a day that we're going to spend together and baby free, and I think we're both really looking forward to it. Now, We have no idea what we're gonna do. Zero clue. Um, we're like, hey, I told her I want to go to Dave and Buster's, and she thought I was joking. I wasn't joking. I wanted to go to Dave and Buster's, but I don't know what we're gonna do. But the most important thing is that we got a day that we're gonna spend together, baby free, and it's gonna be the first time that we've really been baby free since like 2 or 3 months since born. So again, imperfect creature, right? Best practice would be yes, go out with your wife or your partner or whoever that you're involved with, but we turn around being human and getting stuck in a rut or doing in this go 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 mode, and then you don't really prioritize each other. And so I also got called out by Lou Altimore, who was on the podcast. If you haven't listened to that episode, I think it's really good for everybody. To be honest with you, I think he gave really good insight on diet and exercise for not only fathers but also mothers. So go check that out. But Lou's one of my best friends in the world. I said it in the intro. Like, we haven't known each other that long, but he's one of my best friends in the world. So we talk once a week at least, even though we have distance. So we don't get to see each other that often, but we're always either texting, shooting Instagram stories to each other, reels, whatever the case may be. We're always interacting with each other. So one day we're talking, whatever. Obviously, Lou was in the weightlifting world, and I said something about I had to judge a powerlifting meet. And Lou said, "Whoa, dude! In the podcast that I just listened to, you said, work-life balance, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Yeah, I did." Um, but at the same time, I can make an excuse why I went to the powerlifting meet to judge it and try to advance my career and put things on my resume like certified powerlifting judge. But at the end of the day, I didn't do what I said I was gonna do, right? And you know, when you get called out, you're like, "Damn, you sure right." And so it was, it's an eye opening experience. So here's what I'm gonna tell you. I'm imperfect, right? I'm I'm doing the best that I can, and I think that we all are, right? I don't think any of you that are out there listening and going to this and say, you know what, today I'm gonna be a real shitty dad, right? It doesn't exist. At least I really hope it doesn't exist. the The thing is that we're all just trying to do the best we can, right? That's why you're here. That's why you listen to this podcast week in and week out. It's because you want advice, you want those stories, you want those anecdotal tidbits, and so you can go home and do the best you can, right? Or change your ways a little bit, or think about something in a totally different light. And you're not perfect either, and I know that. If you tell me you're perfect, I'll tell you you're a liar, because we're not, right? Number one, most of us are guys. We got some ladies out there. Ladies, you might be perfect, but I know for a fact that I've never met a perfect man. I know that. Okay, we've all got flaws. We've all got baggage. We've all got things that we wish that we could change or do better, or go back and rewind and do it again. Maybe it's words, maybe it's actions, whatever the case may be. But with the imperfect creature, right, the whole title of this episode, uh, the biggest thing that I think that you can do is have a support system like I have. Okay, so I told you all of that to tell you this, right? Without, Jess calling me out or Lou calling me out or my dad, my mom, whoever the case may be, right? We all need that reset. Every single We all need that reset. Every single one of us needs a reset from time to time. I kind of bring you back down to earth. Say, "Hey, you're not doing well, right? You're not doing what you want to be doing. Right? You're headed down a wrong path at this point. And so it's a correction, right? If we overcorrect, we may go down a different path that we don't want to go down. but it's just a slight correction. So you need to develop a support system of people that know your intentions and know what you want to do, right? It's real easy for me. I get in front of this microphone, people that love me and care about me and will reset me listen to this podcast. So when I say something, right, I have a lot of people in my life that listen to the podcast and say, that's not what you said. You're absolutely right, right? I'm not doing what I said I should be doing or need to be doing. Let me correct that. If you don't have this outlet, right, you don't have people that listen to you week in and week out and can, become part of your life, they don't really know your intentions. And so what you have to do is be an effective communicator to where you can get to the point where you say, hey, babe, mom, partner, co-parent, whatever the case may be, this is what I want to do, right? And it may be something that I'm working on, or it may be a goal that I have, but this is something that I want to accomplish, right? I want to set better work-life boundaries. I want to get back in shape. I need you to be my accountability buddy and reset me when I stop that. Okay? I need you not to babysit me, but I need you to care about me enough to tell me, hey, you're messing up. That's not what you want to do. That's not the goal that you have. And I think if people really and truthfully love you and care about you, they don't have a problem with that. Right? I got a beautiful wife in the other room that will tell me the instant that I mess up. Do I always want to hear it? Nope, sure don't. Do I need to hear it? Every single time. Because it keeps you grounded, right? It keeps you in the point where you're like, oh, yeah. No, you're right, babe. I did. That's my bad. I'm gonna correct it. We're gonna get it done, right? Every once in a while, there's some pushback because we're prideful men and we think about this stuff and we're like, no, nah, I'm doing right, whatever the case may be. But if you really stop and think about it, if it's coming from a place of love, say thank you and fix the deal. Because you are an imperfect creature. We all are. It's not a bad thing, right? I mean, it just is what it is. We're there. We're men, right? I mean, for the most of us, we're just trying to survive and figure it out. And then it comes in the case of your children, and we're going to talk about this in a whole episode dedicated to this. But if you make a mistake, man, apologize to your child, right? Part of that self-correction and resetting with somebody that's advocating for you or doing whatever it is that they're doing for you, if you realize that you've made a mistake, apologize and try to right your wrongs. I think people are afraid to say sorry to their children. But yet we turn around and expect it from our kids to say to us or to their friends or whatever when they mess up. We got to model that good behavior. Kids are sponges. They see what you're doing and they do it. I mean, I don't even have one that talks, but my man is imitating us at this point, Like he's getting really close to walking and talking and our whole world's going to change when he starts moving. But at the same time, like he's already imitating sounds and he's 8 months old. So he's going to get to the point where he's really, really soaking everything in, and every child is, right? They're a product of their environment. So when you sit here and say, oh, yeah, I messed up, and then don't apologize or don't try to right your wrongs, right? We got some issues there. But you are an imperfect creature. So it's time to wrap your head around that and try to remedy how I can be a better person, set my goals, and then get you an accountability buddy. It doesn't even have to be your wife or your partner. Get your best buddy to do it. hey man, this is what I'm working on. Can you help me out? Can you be my accountability buddy? Do you want to do it with me? This person may be close enough in your life where you're like, hey, you're the one that I want to do this with. If that's the case, I mean, it's even better, right? Maybe you both want to set new goals for weight loss or work life balance or whatever the case may be. And that's up to you, and you got to do it. But that's all I got for today. It's a solo dolo episode. We got some guests lined up coming up. Again, YouTube channel, the Dadbod Dadpod, dedicated to this. Not the Will and Jess. The Will and Jess page is kind of all over the place. So you're more than welcome to go check that out. Build that subscriber base up. But everything that is Dadbod related is going on to the Dadbod Dadpod YouTube page. Join that Facebook group. We want to hear you. I want to connect with the audience. I want to know who's out there and listening, and I want to talk to you. Okay, I value your opinion. You're a dedicated listener to the show. Go on that Facebook group. Say hey. Just say hey. Hey, I'm here, man. I listen in Michigan. Love the Dadbod Dadpod. Can't wait for the next episode. Just drop in and say hey. I want to connect with the audience and see who's out there, who's listening, and I want to build this community up. So if you do those two things for me, subscribe to the YouTube channel, grow that Facebook page, that Facebook group, not a page. Pages are wrong. Grow that Facebook group. I would really appreciate it. It's all love, gentlemen, ladies, whoever's out there, dad bodders, non-dad bodders, it's all love. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you listening. Be as perfect of a creature that you can be while being an imperfect creature. We'll see you in the next one. So that's one of those examples of like, yeah, we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. So that's one of those examples of like, yeah, we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. So that's one of those examples of something like, yeah.